just so we have that. Okay, so for everyone else who doesn't know Ashley, I got to meet Ashley when I was in Josh Coates's mastermind group over the summer and fall. I was only on a couple live calls, but I will say for the live calls that I was on with, Ashley always like brought the heat, and she was always someone who, she was very open about her limiting beliefs, very, very open about it. And from being so open and then following her story and seeing her just emerge last year as this incredible coach, I think is just an amazing story to show that, you know, everyone has these issues, if we will, these limiting beliefs, why we can't be successful, why we can't do, you know, X, Y, or Z. And Ashley has overcome every single one of those, right? And you're going to hear her story. So she ended last year as an elite coach. She finished at number 82, which is pretty amazing. She is currently 5-star in her first, 1-star in her second. She's hit Success Club 43 months in a row. And I think this is the kicker that got everybody on board with this call, was that you went from hitting Success Club 6 on the last day of the month to consistently hitting Success Club 50. So we're super excited to hear from you. So without further ado, Ashley, you have the floor.
Oh my gosh. Okay, seriously, without fail, it happens every single time. When someone says my stats, I'm always like, wait, are they talking about me? Because I still feel like that person who hit Success Club on the last day of the month. So incredibly humbled, so honored to get to talk to you guys. And more than anything, I tend to get a little long-winded. So I'm going to try and make myself stay super, super short and give you guys some like super solid nuggets, and then open up the end to a Q&A, because I love Q&As and kind of give you guys a chance to ask specific questions that either I didn't go into depth enough on or didn't touch on at all. So I want to kind of talk about how when everything shifted for me. I was a 2-star technically, but I felt like the emptiest 2-star in the world, because one of my diamonds was my sister, who built herself to diamonds, and had a bigger team than me, and the other diamond was my husband, and those were my only emeralds I had, sponsored by me. My sister, my husband, they both happened to be diamond. And then obviously for my husband to be diamond, he had to have 2 emeralds. One of them was my mom, with my dad and my stepdad underneath her. And the other one was a girl who signed up her mom and her husband and stuck around long enough for us to officially hit 2-star, and then she left. And that was my whole business. But I'm this super successful 2-star that's getting shouted out. And at this point, I'd hit Success Club 27, 28 months in a row. And so on paper, I'm this super successful coach. My income was going the wrong direction. I was hitting Success Club most of the time because I was having to call a family member on the last day of the month, because I'd exhausted my connections, I'd exhausted my invites, I'd exhausted my follow-ups, and I just didn't have anyone ready to buy. But it's the last day of the month. I'm like, I've got to hit Success Club. I have this super long streak going. I'm not going to screw this up. I've got to hit Success Club. And so it was my stepdad 1 month, and my grandpa 1 month, and my brother-in-law 1 month, and just rotating through my family so I could stay in compliance, cash apping and Venmoing them money to order challenge packs. And I wanted Beachbody to work so badly. I believe in what we do. The products have changed my life. The personal development piece was helping me. And I loved the community, but I just wasn't seeing the success that, not that it's promised, because we know what the income disclaimer is, but that I was told, if you do these things, I promise you'll be a millionaire. I promise you'll be 15-star. I promise you'll be elite. And that I just couldn't seem to figure out what was missing for me. And I went to a retreat that Micah Folsom hosted. She is my 2 above me upline. So my coach is Jalen Barnes. She is a 3-time elite 10-star. So she is a rock star, hit elite her first year, and like, hello, intimidating. And then we have Micah, who, is one of 6 coaches in the whole company to ever hit double superstar and has never finished lower than number 15. So no pressure. But I earned this retreat because I was a 2-star and I had rank advanced in the qualification period. And so I was invited to come to this retreat. And I almost didn't go because I was about to give birth and was literally 5 days away from when I knew I was going to be induced. So I knew I was about to have my baby, and she was my second. It was my last weekend as a family of 3, and talked myself out of going to this retreat so many times. And I ended up going, and that weekend changed my life. And one of those things that changed that weekend was Josh Coates was there. I knew who Josh was. I had done 2 of his groups before. He used to have one called now it's called the Push Mastermind. He used to have something that was called the Push Life a long time ago. This was like 2 years ago. And then I did it 1 month and it didn't work. I only hit SC6. That's what I was already doing. I don't have $100 to pay you a month. So I canceled. But all of a sudden the next month I hit like SC18 or something super psycho that I was like, oh my gosh. Okay. Well, but I already know what Josh's secrets are. I don't need to pay him. And then except I never did it again after that. And went back to barely hitting SC6. And then I saw him speak at the Power of I Am right before Summit in 2017, which was in New Orleans, and sat in the back and was super motivated. I got to see him in real life. I got a picture, and he wasn't just like this little webinar screen. He was like a real person. He's way shorter than he looks. And I was like, oh my gosh, like Josh is like a real life person. And I paid for his group again in August, right after Summit. Same thing. Didn't see anything happen with my business. And so I was like, I love Josh. He's so motivating, but like this just doesn't work for me. It was working for Jaylyn. It was working for Micah. It doesn't work for me. So Josh comes to this retreat and he changed my freaking life, which is why I am like he always called me one of his disciples. Like I could sell Josh to a homeless person because Josh just changed my life. Because one of the things we did is we sat around in a room of like 18 or 20 of us. There was not very many people. So it was nothing like the Power of I Am where there's like thousands of people and I'm in this back corner of this super, super crowded room. We sat in a circle in the living room and stayed up till 3 a.m. answering 3 questions. And it took till 3 a.m. because he asked these questions. Everybody had to say the answer to these questions out loud. And it changed my life. Okay. Number 1, nothing is holding you back from creating the perfect life. However you want to make your brain understand what that looks like. You wave a magic wand and life is magical, unicorn, rainbows. You have millions of dollars in the bank, no financial stress, no nothing. What does your life look like? What does your day-to-day look like? Where do you live? What kind of car do you drive? What do you spend your day doing? What time do you wake up? What do you put on when you wake up? Who do you spend your day with? And I said car, house. I'm trying to think what else. What do you eat? How do you feel? What does your body look like? What does, exhaustive list, okay? And then everyone had to go around the room and say these answers out loud. And I'm like, I have my notebook and I am so grateful I kept it. But I look at my notes and I'm like, I was thinking so many more things than what I actually wrote down. But I remember thinking, my life is pretty great. Like I like my life. I am super fulfilled as a mom and I'm about to have my second. I'm so excited to be a mom of 2. And but I was also really, really scared to be a mom of 2 because I get pretty bad postpartum. And so I was afraid of that. But I like my house and financially we're doing pretty good because my husband has a fantastic job. And I mean, even if I became some buku millionaire with Beachbody, I don't think he would ever quit because he wants to work. But the one thing I remember thinking is, but if we woke up with $10 million in the bank, maybe our house would be the same. Maybe my car would be the same. He would not work where he does. That piece would change. And that is because he worked somewhere where he traveled. And he was never home. He was always gone in the summer. He would come home he would be gone for 2 or 3 weeks at a time, living in a hotel. He was doing construction. So it was super hard labor. And he was gone like working probably 14 to 16 hours a day. So yes, we got to FaceTime him, but number one, FaceTime is hard to explain to a then 3-year-old. And number two, how do you make your, he was exhausted. So FaceTiming him was boring, for lack of a better word, because he couldn't make sentences. We couldn't hold conversations because he was so tired he couldn't communicate with us. And so I felt like this single mom who had massive paychecks coming into my bank account every week because he was making so much money. We just never saw him. And so when Josh was asking us about this, create your perfect life, at the time, the only thing that would change was Jake's job. And that was enough to make this exercise change my life. Okay. So first and foremost, you need to know, in order for you to go anywhere in this business beyond where you currently are, you have to want something more than what you currently have. That doesn't make you selfish. That doesn't make you greedy. That doesn't make you any of those things. But you have to know, because if you tell yourself, my life's great, I want to make the same amount of money, I want to have the same amount of challengers, I want to make the same amount of impact, I want to live in the same house, I want to drive the same cars, I want to spend the same amount of time with my family, I want to have the same body, I want to have the same financial problems, I love everything the way that it is. Your brain doesn't understand that you need to work if you don't want to change. So you need to find something that you want that you don't currently have to make you want to put in the work to achieve that thing. Okay. So for me, that was my husband's job. So everybody's going around the room asking these things. And it was very eye-opening to me how some of the girls, their answers were so deep and emotional, and everybody was bawling and whatever. And some of the girls, you could tell they were having a really hard time with the exercise. So they were like, I don't know. I like my life. I don't really want anything else. And those people are still where they were at the time of that retreat. That retreat was 17 months ago. And I talk to all those girls at the retreat all the time because they're all always like, I don't get it. I was at the same retreat as you. Why did it change your life and it didn't change mine? And I really do think it's because they didn't find something in their life worth fighting for. They did not find something that absolutely had to change. Okay. So you have to figure that out. Okay. Number two. So then we get all the way around the circle. Everybody said their thing and Josh was like, okay, so now we know what you want. We know you want to get somewhere you're not currently. Now, what is the biggest thing holding you back? What is the biggest, well, I can't bring home Jake. I can't hit 15-star. I can't hit elite. I can't make enough money to buy a house or cover my car payment, whatever, insert thing. I can't do that because of blank. And then you were supposed to say one out loud. He was super specific that due to time constraints, because there was 20 of us and it took an hour and a half to do question one, that he was like, y'all have to say one. We will be here till next Tuesday if everybody says more than one. So you get to say one limiting belief and I'm going to help you work through it. And I was like, well, shiz, I could tell you 18. I have so many reasons why I can't do this. I'm not a good leader. And I don't know how the heck I'm supposed to build a super killer business as a mom unless I hire a nanny. And I don't have enough time, and I'm not likable, and I don't have a big enough following, and my story isn't relatable enough, and I'm not at my goal weight yet, and I'm supposed to do this with a brand new baby, and I think I'm about to get postpartum. I can't do that, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Made this big list of all the reasons why, this is never going to happen for me. And as we started going around the circle, I was 2/3 of the way through the group, so I got to hear 12 people probably before we got to me. I was really surprised to hear every single person said a limiting belief I could relate to. And so I paid attention to what Josh was telling them. I did not zone out. I did not. And Josh has podcasts on his podcast where he walks people through these kinds of exercises. So if you're this would be super helpful to hear Josh do it, go listen to his podcast. And it doesn't have to be that he's talking to you, because I overcame a ton of my limiting beliefs by listening him talk to someone else, because I didn't zone out and I paid attention and answered the questions in my head. Okay. Anyway, so he started going through all of the things, and I realized, number one, I'm not the only person who has those thoughts. I'm not the only person who thinks that they're not likable, that because they don't look like Lindsay Matway, that because they're not six-pack abs, that because they are wanting to be present with their kids and they want their kids to be a priority in their life, that therefore their business can't be a priority in their life, and that they don't have enough time for all these trainings and personal development and team calls and national makeup calls and finishing my power hour and my inbox, and I'm supposed to post it side by side, and I just don't have time for all this. And I was not the only person who had all these things. And so that made me feel like, okay, well, if all these other people think these things too, maybe all the successful coaches I look up to had these thoughts at one point too, and they overcame them. Maybe I could overcome them too. And so I started paying attention to the advice Josh gave as he walked them through it. So number one, I'll give you an example. I'm not a good leader. He would say, okay, give me your evidence for why you're not a good leader. Because when you're a good leader, you give people tools that they have access to, like a team page or trainings, or they know how to access the national wake-up call, or they have an internet connection so they can look at YouTube, or they have Beachbody on demand so they can access the workouts, and you added them to your challenge group so that they have a place that they can add their challengers to. Tell me which one of those things you are not doing. And the girl was like, well, I'm doing all those things. Like, my people are in challenge groups. They have access to a training, whether it's through your upline or whether it's through Team Beachbody 411's Facebook page. There is training available, and they have access to the internet. So they have YouTube, and they're in my challenge group. So there is a place to add their challengers. And I mean, I gave all those resources to my people, but I'm still a bad leader. And Josh was like, no, you're not. A leader is someone who technically, back up, I need to give credit where credit is due. This is a quote from Bonnie Engel. She was in the top 10 the year before last, and she has a quote. The top 10 gets their face on the wall at corporate. There's a corporate here in Utah. I've been there a lot of times. And Bonnie Engel's quote for last year said, a leader is simply someone who runs fast enough to be ahead of their people. Leadership is not a title or rank. It is being the example of what's possible. And Josh said something along those lines. You never promised them that you would come over and put your hands on top of their hands and help them do a power hour. You never told them that you would text them 25 times a day just to make sure they did their connections and invites and follow-ups. You never said you would do that. You said that you would train them, that you would provide the resources, that you would be there as their friend, and that you would help them and encourage them along the way so that they can see success too. That's all a leader is. So no, you're not a bad leader, because if you care and you're providing the resources and you are doing your best every day to pave the way, you're a fantastic leader. And so as Josh was talking this through with this girl, I was like, oh my gosh, he's right. Like, I do all of those things. Like I do provide those resources for my girls, but my girls quit. Like I get coach cancellations, or I get girls who want to build a business and they never go Emerald, or I get girls who want to build a business and they go Emerald and then they like only hit Success Club once and then they never hit Success Club again, or insert, and somebody, thank heavens, raised their hand and said that, which again goes back to like, oh yes, other people think the same thing as me. And Josh talked about, okay, that's a story. Your brain has decided if I was a good leader, everyone I signed up would go 15-star. If I was a good leader, everyone would be on every team call. If I was a good leader, everyone would get six-pack abs. If I was a good leader, everyone would hit Success Club, Elite, insert, claw, whatever your brain has said. And your brain has found a story that it is running away with. And until you rewrite the story, your brain is going to continue to see everything you're not doing because your brain has a story. You have to write a new story, otherwise known as affirmations. So then Josh was like, okay, so now I'm going to give you an affirmation about how you're a good leader. So an affirmation for how you're a good leader would be something like, I always forget what they are, so I always have to pull them up, even though I've said them every single day for 16 months. Okay, I have a bunch of leader ones. I find coaches who are just as passionate about coaching as I am. Okay. That hurt to say the first while. Because yes, I'm a 2-star. I was doing a power hour like once a week, maybe. And I was posting every day. I was showing up in my stories. I was doing my workout. I was doing the front end things. I was not doing the back end things. I was not doing my connections. I never did invites because I hated invites with my whole soul. I had no tracking system. I was never following up. Like, and yes, I'm passionate about the business, but I also saw a lot of lack. Everything in my business was about, why don't I have more builders? Why don't I have more coaches hitting Success Club? Why don't I have more income, more volume, more? And when I started telling myself, I find coaches who are just as passionate about the business as I am, that made my brain realize, holy shiz, you better get freaking passionate if you want to find the next Micah Folsom and have her be under you. You better become the most passionate person about the business there is, because you're never going to attract someone who's at a higher number than you. That's the John Maxwell thing that he talks about. So I'm going to attract people who are just as in love with the business as I am. So, and I'm going to attract people who do the same amount of work or less than I do. So I better set that bar pretty freaking high, because if we're at a scale of 1 to 10 and I'm doing a 3, then that means my girl's cap is 3. Which means 10 to 1, they're going to be hanging around level 1. But if I'm hanging out at an 8, then I'm going to have girls in the whole spectrum, depending on their goals and their priorities. But I'm going to attract way better people if I am way more passionate about the business. Okay. And that is something that is a controllable affirmation. I do not ever wake up and say, I am in Million Club. I am a 15-star. I am in the top 10. I am the number 1 coach. No, I'm not. All of those things are lies. Okay. Affirmations are not lies. Affirmations are things and habits and behaviors you want to create tied to action. So by saying, I find coaches who are just as passionate about the business as I am telling my brain, if I want that, I better be that. So the more you say it, the more it triggers your brain to like, shiz, I got to be more passionate because I want people like this. Okay. Number 2, affirmation. I keep finding amazing, inspiring people who want to stick around. I can go through and paste all these at the end if you guys want. So that one, I was like, no, I don't. Everybody I signs up cancels their HD. Nobody sticks around. Like, and I definitely don't get builders. Like, and I'll get a builder and they'll stick around for like 2 weeks. I do not, and no. And the people who do stick around, my current builders are like negative Nellies. Like, that's not true. I get people that I would rather shop than spend time with, and I hope they don't come to Summit. And I'm glad when they don't get on team calls, because like, I don't like my team. And so I started telling myself, I keep finding amazing, inspiring people that want to stick around. And it was like day 5 of saying that one, that a name came to my head. One of my challengers who had been killing it with Shift Shop. She'd been doing Shift Shop by then for probably 4 weeks and had fantastic results. She was down like 14 pounds in 4 weeks. Her picture was like mind blowing. And she was my first person in over a year who actually did the program and the meal plan and got results. And so I was like, oh, it's true. I do keep finding amazing, inspiring people who want to stick around because I have Tiffany. Like, yes, she's 1 in 12 months worth of work, but I have 1. I do keep finding because I have Tiffany. And so every time I would say that affirmation, my brain pictured Tiffany because my brain found proof. It took a few days of me saying it, but my brain found proof that, okay, you're going to keep telling me that there's someone that wants to stick around. Let's figure out who it is. Okay, it's Tiffany. And the more time that passed, holy crap, we got Tiffany and we have Camille. Holy crap, we got 2. Oh my gosh, we have Tiffany and Camille and Kylie. And so as my brain found these people that were like, oh, they are sticking around. They are showing up. They are getting results. They are loving the meal plan. They love Autumn too. They love Beachbody On Demand too. They won't go to bed till they did their workout too because they love this just as much as me. Then I 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I messaged them and said, hey, girlfriends, this is making me want to throw up. But you are like totally doing what a coach does. You are so inspiring. You are living a lifestyle. And I would love if you came to do the business with me. Would you be interested in learning more about what I do as a coach? Because I promise you're already doing what I do. You're just not getting paid for it. And without fail, every single time they say, actually, yes, I have thought about it, but I was too afraid. And I don't think I would make a good coach because XYZ, insert, and send them the sneak peek, and then we chat back and forth. Sometimes they sign up as a coach, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they become your newest diamond. Tiffany, she's one of my best friends in the whole world. She was one of my best friends prior to becoming a diamond, prior to her results, prior to everything that happened, and she is one of my top performers on my team. And she, along those lines, she made the business fun for me because I was, and it fulfilling, because not only am I like butting my head against the wall, sending these stupid invites every single freaking day, it's working. Like all this work I'm putting into my challenge groups, it's working. Somebody's life changed because I opened my mouth. Somebody's life changed because of the content that I set aside half hour to create. Somebody's life is better because of me. And that is like the most fulfilling thing in the universe that will make you want to keep going. So you have to get challengers getting, I just got off on the weirdest tangent, but that affirmation of I keep finding amazing, inspiring people who want to stick around, that is, I still say it every single day because it is one of my absolute favorites that my brain finds so much proof. Now, because I told it a new story to look for, rather than telling it, oh my gosh, everybody I sign up quit. No, I keep finding amazing, inspiring people who want to stick around. Do I have people who quit? Of course. Do I have people who sign up and never get any results? Of course. Do I have people who sign up for the business and never do anything with it? Of course. But I don't focus on that. I focus on the people who do want this, who want to go somewhere, who are people I want to be around, and who were ready for their life to be changed when I came into their life, and I link arms with them and run. Because you can run with 100 or you can carry one. You cannot do both. You cannot carry 100 people. And you can't carry one and run with 99. You can't run carrying someone. You can either run with 100 or you can carry one. And that path is blazed. So if you have people that want to come with you, but they don't want to go at the pace you do, you are paving the way. The path is there. When they want to get on the path is open and ready for them. But you do not have to sit on the path and wait for them to decide to put their shoes on. You can go blazing through the forest with or without them. Okay? Okay. Next affirmation. And I've been on this second step for a really long time, but so I'll make this the last one. Because I am confident and have positive energy, I find coaches who are also confident and have positive energy. Okay? This one goes back again. It hurts to say that because I was not positive. I was not confident. I did not have good energy. Because like I said, I hated my team. I hope they didn't get on team calls. They were negative. I didn't like anybody in my team with very, very minor exception. And I liked my uplines team. I liked my uplines team. So when I did posts about coaching and how great the community was to get my energy right, I would think about their teams. Because if I posted about how much I love being a leader to my team, it wasn't true. I hated being a leader to my team because I was attracting people who had freaking crappy energy. So because that affirmation is phrased, because I am confident and have positive energy, I find coaches who are also confident and have positive energy. Yes, sweetheart. Yes, you can. So it makes it so that my brain, every time I say it, my brain, okay, we gotta be confident and have positive energy because that's who we're looking for. So how are we gonna be confident and have positive energy? Okay, I'm getting ahead on my steps, so whatever, we're gonna throw this one in right here. If you're gonna be confident and have positive energy, girlfriend, you don't know how to do that. So we gotta learn, which means you do not have time for Netflix anymore because you gotta put so much positivity in your head that we gotta listen to like every PD you can get your hands on. So you need to find out what the best ones are for confidence, and then you're gonna get the ones on Audible and you're gonna listen to them like 100,000 times. So I listened to You Are a Badass probably 10 times last year because that book, Jen Sincero, just lights my soul on fire. I listened to You Are a Badass at Making Money, also by Jen Sincero. Not as cocky as the title sounds. Probably 10 times. I listened to Un-F Yourself from Gary John Bishop. Like I listen to that probably every other week because he is Scottish and his everything. It just makes me like, oh my gosh, how are you in my head? Like, he's like Josh, but Scottish. He's so fantastic. Alexa just reminded me I need to make dinner. So I didn't have time for Netflix anymore. And Mel Robbins, 5-second rule. That's the other one. That I just cycled through those 4 books over and over and over. I read 75 personal development books last year. And if you actually wrote down the list on how many individual books it was probably only like 16 or 17, because Unearth Yourself is on there like 8 times, and You Are a Badass is on there like 8 times, and You're a Badass at Making Money is 8 times, and 5-second rule is like 4 times, and Like She Owns the Place is on there like 4 times. And when I found something that hit the spot that made me like, yes, I could do that. Yes, I feel amped. Yes, yes. Then I would just listen to that over and over and over. So when people are like, I can't read 75 PD books because I don't have that much money for Audible credit. Dude, get 1 credit a month and listen to that book 5 times that month. And then the next month, you get a new book, listen to it 5 times that month. And by the time, if you do that every single month, if you listen to the same book 5 times a month, you're only going to use 12 credits, so it's not going to cost you anything extra. And you're going to read 60 books over the course of the year, okay? I did not have time for the negativity and the crap, and Energy Bust was another one. I don't even know how many PD books I just named, but I named a lot. I did not have time for the negativity and crap that was happening in my head anymore, because I had to bring my husband home from his job. I had to give my kids another life. I was done watching my oldest cry because she was FaceTiming dad. I was done watching him beat himself into the ground because of how much he was working. And I was about to have a second baby. I was not about to single mom with 2 kids for another summer. And something had to change. So I'm going to give up Netflix so that I can do as much PD as possible. I'm going to find people who are smarter than me, who know more than me, and I'm going to let them in my head every single spare second that I have. And that will change your life. I promise. I promise. And because you don't have time for the negative hater in your head, you feel like my messy pantry. I love that my kid just left that door open. You don't have time for the crap anymore in your head because there's just not room for it. Okay. And then that was the longest number 2. Okay. So when he went around the room and asked that second question, that question took probably 4 hours to go around every single person in the room, to identify the limiting belief, to talk it out to a point that it was not logical, and then to make affirmations that say the opposite of the logical thing that include action. Okay. That's how you make affirmations. And I know, whoa, there's a bird on my porch. Yeah, you guys are doing a retreat. Katie, you should talk to Josh, because Josh will come to retreat. So, and it's fantastic. He came out to Disneyland when my upline had a 10-star retreat, and Josh came out to that one too. So I've been to multiple retreats with Josh, and oh man, if you guys think he's great on a computer screen, wait till you see him in a room. Okay, so then number three question that he goes around asking is, now we know what you want. We know what you're, Casey, don't make the dog bark, please. Kalani Sataki, Kalani. We know what needs to change. We know what's in our way. We know what we're going to work on. We know the new story we're going to tell ourselves, because the old story we were telling ourselves is not true. Okay. Number 3, we need to make an action plan, because this is all great and happy and roses that, okay, I want to bring Jake home. I'm going to bring Jake home. I'm going to bring Jake home. Holy shit. How am I going to make enough money to bring Jake home? This is great. I'm so excited. I'm so fired up, but I don't know what to do. Okay. You make a goal. Rank. Where are you going to be? Rank by summit qualification, which is the end of May, start of May. They say this every single national wake-up call, but I always get on late, so I always miss it. What rank are you going to be recognized for at summit? And please don't say diamond, because girlfriend, you are made for so much more than that. And diamonds, your name is on a pretty wall, and that's it. If you're a 1-star, you get to walk across a stage with 25,000 people waving and cheering and screaming your name while you are waving a flag that you get to bring home that says 1-star. And I promise that is one of the most electrifying experiences you will ever have in your life. That happens 1, 2, 3, and 4-star. When you are a 5-star and above, they will say your name as you walk across the stage. So this year, this is my first year going as a 5 or higher, because last year's summit, I was only a 3, and the year before I was only a 1, and the year before I was only a diamond. So diamond, it was great going that, knowing that I'm a diamond, but I didn't get recognized as it. Like, my name was on the thing, and that was it. And the next year I was so excited. So I was a 1 star, and like, I have this cool thing to wave, and oh my gosh, I get to bring it home. And the next year I was a 3 star, but I had way bigger goals. And last year I was so pissed at myself that I was only a 3 star. And this year I am pushing for 15. I want to be walking across that stage, not as a 5, not as a 10. I am going to walk across that stage as a 15 star, or I'm going to die trying, because that is, I am made for more than that. My team is capable of that. I am capable of achieving that level of whatever my business, because I believe in myself and I believe in my team. And I instill as much belief into them as I can. And I recruit people who want what I have, because I tell myself, I lead with confidence and positive energy, and I find people who are confident, positive energy, and I find people who are just as passionate about the business as I am. I tell myself that all the freaking time. So my head is totally like, heck to the yes, we can do superstar. We got people coming out our ears. We're signing up like 10 business builders a week. Like, we can totally do this, because you are like freaking, and this is another one about my affirmations, but like, you wake up every single day and get to be Ashley McClellan. That is the best thing in the whole world. And you are so lucky that you live an intentional, amazing, abundant, purposeful life that you wake up every day excited to experience. I wake up and tell myself those things every single day. One of my affirmations, if you've ever watched the Elite call, that when they announce Elite, they put like together a montage. It's like the best thing ever. But corporate says it this special way. They don't say like, congratulations, you're elite. They say like, and Fabulous Nation is a 2019 elite team. And so when I say my affirmation, I say it just like that, out loud at 5:30 in the morning, in the dark, on my couch, because of the hard work that I put in. Fabulous Nation is a 2-time elite team. And I say it just like that. And I have zero doubts in my head. My team is going to hit elite again. Zero doubts, because I believe in them, and I am putting forth the effort and the work to, if the current team I have doesn't want that goal, I will go out and find new people, because I'm not afraid to do the work. We're going to talk about the work piece in a second. So anyway, back to my number 3. I'm going off on all the affirmation tangents. Actually, rein it in. Okay, work. Okay, so you need to figure out your rank goal for Summit. That's how I got off on that tangent. What rank are you going to be recognized for at Summit? Okay, what's your income goal? What do you want to be making by Summit? We need some urgency. We need some focus. Okay, now you need to like cut it in half. So if that's where you want to be by mid-May, where are you going to be at the end of March? So cut it in half. Okay, so if you're like, holy, whoa, that seems scary to be there in like 6 weeks. Okay, then we're going to cut it in half again. Where are you going to be in 3 weeks? Okay, now you have like your bite size, and then you cut it in a third. So then you know, okay, holy crap, I have a big income goal, which yes, I have some great volume from team cycle bonuses happening. But if I want that level of income to happen and not necessarily be dependent on my team, because I can't control my team's actions, I can control how much I sell. So that means I need to hit SC 30 is where it started in my head. That I was like, I recruit people who never do anything. So I'm just going to assume no one in my team ever does anything, and I'm just going to hit SC 30. If I'm going to hit SC 30, that's 15 lives. That's a share cart every other day. Holy crap. I send 3 share carts on the last day of the month. How the heck am I going to send a share cart every other day? And the path to do that is action and urgency and focus. The reason I only sent 3 share cards on the last day of the month is because I didn't show up till the 27th of each month. That all of a sudden I'm in everybody's inbox, and I'm posting 10 times a day, and my stories have all the polls, and I'm messaging everyone who's ever liked, commented, swiped, or whatever on anything I've ever done, because I gotta like hurry in whatever. If you put in as much hustle the whole month as you do on the last day of the month, your business would be in an entirely different place. I promise. And I decided to stop putting in all the hustle on the last day of the month and hustle that hard every single day with Josh's system, which is 20 connections. That's all I do. Sometimes I do extra. but I always do a minimum of 20. And honestly, the doing extra is a very recent thing. Prior to right now, I did not do more than 20. I just did 20. But I'm being honest, that's a new thing I'm changing. Okay, 20 connections. This can be you watch people's stories and you comment. You're commenting on their posts. You are messaging them to wish them a happy birthday, not commenting on their wall. You're messaging them. And a few tips about that. Ask them a question so they have a reason to reply back to you. So you can have a conversation with them. For example, hey, so-and-so, I hope you have the best birthday ever, and I hope you don't have to do any dishes because nobody wants to do dishes on their birthday. What are you going to do to celebrate? So then they message you back and they're like, oh my gosh, it's so true, but mom life is a thing, so I'm probably going to have to do dishes. But that's okay. We're going to go out to eat. Okay, that's awesome. Oh my gosh, where are you going to go out to eat? We're going to go to Olive Garden. Olive Garden is my favorite place ever. I could basically drink their Alfredo. Oh my gosh, right? And their breadsticks are so good. And like, it never turns into like oh, by the way, when you're feeling fat after you drink all that Alfredo, do you want to buy a challenge pack? Like, it never gets like weird. I don't ever bring up Beachbody. I'm a normal person wishing them a normal happy birthday. Okay. And a lot of times if somebody has a birthday that I was in conversation with about a challenge pack and they ghosted me messaging them about their birthday will make them start talking to me again because they see that I care about them as a normal person. I'm not just following up because I want to sell something. I'm following up with them because I love them and I care about them. So sorry, I just got a text and it like popped up on my computer. And another thing about birthday messages, inside tip, I send people a happy birthday message the day before their birthday. Facebook will tell you the day before. Girlfriend, you will stand out. If you message people on Friday because it's their birthday on Sunday, like, you will stand out. You will get a reply. They will talk to you because you are not flooding them on a day that they are getting flooded with 45,000 other people. You stand out because you did it early, okay? I promise you stand out if you do it early. Anyway, that's what I do for my connections. Basically, I have a lot of friends on Facebook, so I can do my 20 connections just for my birthday messages alone. And then I used to have a service on Instagram. I just canceled it last night, actually. That's a whole other tangent. That when I would get a new follower, they would message any new followers. So that was the other thing I did for connections. So, and those said like, hey, I'm excited we connected because I'm a major introvert and a homebody. So Instagram friends are life because I don't have to leave my house to make new friends. I'm a mom of 2 kids and a dog, and I'm a wife. Tell me about you. And I have like 75% response rating because I'm not like, and I sell stuff and I'm with Beachbody. And if you ever have like health and fitness goals, I promise I'd be here to help you. So tell me about you. I don't even bring up what I do because if they never want to buy anything from me, cool, it's a new friend. And I really am an introvert, and it really is good for me to talk to people, not in my, in my computer, because I feel my safe space because I am not like awkwardly next to them. In-person stuff is so hard for me. And I am like notorious for canceling things that are in real life because it's hard for me. So everything I said is true. And I love that this business can be done through social media. Okay. Anyway, those are my connections. 20 connections a day, 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday, 20 connections. Okay. 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. I am doing invites, 10 invites a day. That's it. I know there are some coaches who kill it that do like hundreds. That's not me. I hate invites with my whole soul. I know they're worth it. I have a very good thing with people being like, actually, I kind of did want some info. I've been following you for a really long time, but I was nervous to reach out and ask for information. Could you give me some info? So like people will be like, actually, I'm so glad you asked because I've been thinking about it, and that won't happen if you don't open your mouth. So you do need to send invites, but I only send 10. And I send them to people who are watching my stories. Because if you're watching my stories, I don't care if we've never talked before. If you're watching my stories, you are inviting yourself into my life. And I talk about what I do every single day. So guess what, girlfriend? You're getting an invite. And if one of you ever gets an invite from me and you're watching my stories, that's why. And then I also send invites to people who are liking and commenting on my posts. But again, I only send 10 a day. And my invite wording says something like, hey, it's super hard to be vulnerable. Back up. Hey, I noticed you've been watching my stories. It's super hard to be vulnerable about the real mom life stuff sometimes, but I really appreciate the support. So thank you for being the best cheerleader ever. Were you interested in joining my Transform Your Life bootcamp, or are you just being an awesome cheerleader? Either way, know that I see you and I love you and I appreciate you. 90% of the time, they will reply to me. They may not say yes, but they will reply because I am complimenting them. I am telling them, you are so awesome for cheering me on. Thank you for being someone who's positive in my life. That doesn't mean they're ready to buy. Maybe they're already a coach. Maybe they hate Beachbody. Maybe they whatever. That is not necessarily the point. I am telling them thank you. They will reply. And then 2-3 months from now, when I get a random message in my inbox saying, hey, I'm interested in your boot camp. Can I get some information? Scroll back up in my conversation. I sent them an invite 2 or 3 months ago. Okay. You sending invites is inviting people to start paying attention to what you're doing. That's how I want you to look at invites. You're not sending an invite because you want them to say yes today. You are inviting them to start stalking the ever living crap out of you because they are going to be like, boot camp, what is she talking about? And now they're really going to pay attention to what you're talking about. So this is when you show up even more, because our job as coaches is to be here when they are ready, not to be here when we are ready for them to sign up. Okay. So if they say no, but they change their mind 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 2 years from now, you need to still be here so that they, when they're ready and they've been watching you and they finally feel like they're ready and you inspired them so much. And yes, it took them 2 years, but they're ready, that you're still here. That's how you go from SC6 to 60, because that compound effect of 20 connections, 10 invites, showing up every single effing day, whether I wanted to or not, is starting to compound like crazy, because that's 200 invites a month, which is times by 12 months. I am terrible at math on the spot. That's what, 2,400? Is that right? 204. How many invites is that? 2,400 invites in a year? Like, and that's just the ones you sent. That's not necessarily the ones who message you asking for information. That's not including all the people who have asked before. That's not all the people who you're following up with. That's like that. You get a pipeline that big, girlfriend, you're going to start hitting some crazy Success Club numbers. Okay. And it just compounds. Don't do anything crazy, because I'm the person who on the last day of the month would send like 700 invites and be so tired that I can't work for 2 weeks because that was exhausting and I have all these negative mindset things going on about the business. Okay. Don't do anything crazy. 20 connections, 10 invites. And then on Fridays, I do 40 follow-ups. So I keep track of people who have asked for info and this is not, I sent an invite and they never replied back. This is, I sent an invite and they said, actually, yes, I would like some information. Or someone who commented that they wanted information and I never heard back. Or someone who asked for information 6 months ago and I'm just seeing, hey, I know you've been asking about 2B and 2B is on sale this month. Or, hey, I know you've been interested in Transform 20 when I was posting about it in October. And my second group is kicking off on Monday. Did you still want, or like, is that something you're still interested in? Friday, I'm doing 40 follow-ups, okay? And I keep track of all of those. I use Teamzy only for my follow-up system. Teamzy wants to tell you like who to connect with and wants you to import like your Facebook list. I do not do that. I just manually enter people into Teamzy once they ask for info so that I can set follow-up reminders, and I just set all of them for Fridays. So if it's someone that they're like, yes, I'm interested, but I need to wait till I get paid at the end of the month, then I set them for the Friday that's closest to the end of the month. And if it's someone, and it's then when that Friday comes, it always without fail happens that Teamzy tells me to talk to someone that I'm like, who is this? And I go look at my messages from them and they were on the verge of buying a share cart and I totally forgot who they were. So Teamzy or a paper and pen, if you were like freaking organized. I just wasn't organized enough. I've heard Google Streak is great for this too. I just have never figured out Google Streak. I love Teamzy. Just do not import your whole Facebook, Instagram, whatever like it wants you to. Insert one person at a time as they ask for info and follow up with them on Friday. Okay. And that's all I do. That's my power hour. And I add to my network. On Instagram, I'll find like a blogger or a hairstyle blogger or a lifestyle blogger or like a mom, someone who I have a lot of things in common with. So someone who's a mom and her kids are about the same age as mine. And she likes to get ready too, but she's not someone who's into like 4-hour makeup tutorials because I don't have time for that. And she's someone who like wears cute clothes and doesn't wear high heels to the grocery store because that's not me. And she's someone who's like Christian, or she has like she believes in God, and she likes Target and she, whatever. I find someone who I'm like, girlfriend, we would be best friends in real life and you just don't even know it. That they have a great size Instagram following and great interaction. And then what I do, I have like multiple accounts I pick from so I don't ever get stuck cycling through the same people. Monday, I'll pull up Hair Blogger #1's account, go to her most recent picture that has 3,224 likes on it, click on who liked it, and then just go through. I do not overthink this. I pay attention to the names, so I'm not following Muhammad. But other than that, it's follow 100 people. And then that's it. That's it. It takes like 2 minutes. Make a list, pay attention. So you know which accounts you want to target. So it makes it super fast so you don't have to overthink it because I'm the queen of overthinking. And that's it. That's really all I do for my, and then I clean out my inbox and I interact in my challenge group and I post in my stories. That's it. That's all I'm doing. I'm not doing anything super crazy. I've just been doing it every single day for 16 months. And I have I saw in the chat, how do I track it? So coaching invites, I'll talk about that too. So I have a Google, when I was in the high performance mastermind thing with Katie, Josh made this Google sheet that we were supposed to track our activities on, and I don't think any of us ever did it. But it was really good that it had like stuff you need to do every day. And it had like the 20 connections, 10 invites, add to your network, whatever. So I had my assistant, because I hired an assistant probably like 8 months ago. So I did this for a super long time with a brand new baby without an assistant. I do have an assistant now who works like maybe an hour a day. But anyway, my assistant made like a duplicate of Josh's sheet, and it has like broken down super idiot proof what the activities are for the week. So, and it's broken down by day. So, and it starts Thursday to Wednesday, because I love that about the new success tracker one from Beachbody, that it runs Thursday to Wednesday, not Monday to Sunday. So Thursday it will say like 20 connections, 10 invites, expand your network, workout, Shakeology, and then it has stories. So it has like 6 things about stories. Stories food, stories PD, stories workout clips, stories product, stories daily life, stories coaching. So that I'm talking about, so I don't forget, shoot, I never talked about a product today. And I have to pay attention, because I will talk about Energize every day and never talk about anything else. So I like pay attention to that too. Did I talk about Energize? Did I talk about Shakeology? Did I talk about the bars? Did I talk about Recover? And I never call anything by its name. You guys are diamonds. You guys know that. And then, so it has those 6 story things, and then it tells me what to post. So 3 days a week. Oh my gosh, guys, remember I wanted to open it up for questions, and I've just been talking for like an hour. It's fine. So then I follow Josh's posting schedule. This is all part of Josh. So if you guys are like, where the heck did you get this? It's all Josh. On Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you share health and fitness. So one of the times it's about a recipe, one of the times it's about Shakeology, one of the times it's a sweaty selfie. This is not 3 sweaty selfies. This is you bringing in the other aspects of health and fitness. Okay, so one of the times it's about nutrition, one of the times it's about supplements, one of the times it's about your workout. Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, except I think I changed my days around. 3 times a week, you talk about coaching. Okay, so you make a big list of everything you love about coaching: the accountability, the community, the discount, the income, your friends, the trips, the retreats, the summit, the working out with the trainers, the da-da-da-da-da. You make a big list, and then when you post about coaching, you talk about those things, so that you aren't always talking about the community, because maybe you'll attract someone like me who doesn't think they need a community, who doesn't think they need friends. And if all you ever talk about is the community, you're going to push away the person who really needs the income. And if you only talk about the income, you're going to push away the person who really needs the community. And maybe someone doesn't know they can get a discount, and they drank Shakeology 4 years ago because their sister was a coach, but their sister quit, and they had no idea there was a discount. And wait, what? And someone's like really wants to be a coach, but dude, I freaking struggle with my journey. I could never do what you do because I'm not at my goal yet. So you talk about the accountability of what we have as a coach. Like, that's when you talk about coaching 3 times a week. And that is how you get builders, is you talk about what we do as coaches in your stories every single day. I talk about the National Wake Up Call every single week. I talk about when I do a team call, when I'm doing one-on-ones, when I'm sitting down to do my power hour with my nap time hustle and my baby monitor is next to me because I do it when my little girl's asleep. All of that breadcrumbs in my stories at least once a day. So I'm showing that I don't just work out, I can help you too. And I'm not just saying I run a boot camp, I can train you to make money. And I make sure to do shout outs and stuff like that in my stories every day. But in my posts, I talk about coaching 3 times a day. And then every day, I also do a not Beachbody post. So there's 2 posts a day, and these are all in my little tracker thing. I can send you guys a link to my tracker thing if you want. So it has like Thursday, coaching breadcrumb, lifestyle post. And then it has the story things. And then it ends the day with like, you need to have done PD, affirmations, visualize your goal, and you need to write down somewhere, whether it's in the 2B tracker, because it's at the bottom of every page, or in a whatever, you need to write down the best thing that happened to you. Not like, how was your day on a scale of 1 to 10? What was the best thing that happened to you? Because it trains your brain to look for the good in your life, rather than like, how was your day? Oh, it was really stressful. No, what's the best thing that happened to you today? I got a lot done on my to-do list. You totally just said the exact same thing, but your brain processed it completely different. So, that's on my tracker too. And then and then the day ends with what are you at Success Club points wise and how many coaches have you recruited so far for the month. And my whole team, we all use one form. My name is always at the top so that they can see. Ashley hasn't marked anything today. I wonder what's up with that. Or holy shit, it's 9 a.m. and Ashley's already marked every single box. And so it makes it so that my team, and then every week I post a new one up on Thursday, and their name is at a different spot on the form every single week, depending on how fast they get in on Thursday and put their name in there. So that's how I track, and that's how I train my team to know when to post about what, and like when to post about stories, when to post what to make sure they talk about in their stories so they don't go too Beachbody heavy. All of that is in my thing. Okay. That was like the longest flow ever, but I actually think I did talk about everything that I wanted to talk about. Let me double check really fast. Typical flow of my day is crazy. It's it depends on the day. I wake up really early and I always do a miracle morning. That's another book I read last year that changed my life. But I call it a magic morning because I think that sounds better and I love Disney. So, and it is really magical. If I wake up and do my thing before my kids wake up, oh, thank you, Emma took it off. If I wake up and do my stuff before my kids wake up, I am a much better mom. So I always wake up and I do my magic morning, which consists of, I put on my workout clothes, I come downstairs, I drink my Shakeology, my Energize, I say my prayers, I do my affirmations, I visualize my next goal that I'm pushing for and like what it will feel like and look like once I'm there. So a long time, that was me visualizing bringing Jake home from his job. And then it was me visualizing getting the elite call at Disneyland. Even though I had like no shot of hitting elite, I'm going to get that elite call in Disneyland with my rose gold ears. And the castle's going to be right behind me. And I'm going to do the Zoom with Doug. And he's going to be like, Civilization is a 2019 elite team. And that totally happened. I got the elite call in Disneyland. And I woke up and visualized that stupid call every single day for like 11 months. And now that that's over, it's been hard for me to pick a new thing, but I totally, nobody tell Josh this because I want him to come to this idea on his own. I want to speak at Josh's event at the Power of I Am at Summit, and I have a specific pair of jeans I want to wear because I want to be further on my journey than I am right now. So I visualize speaking on stage for Josh's event, someone who had no idea who I was 2 years ago, and now he's asking me to speak at his event. And I'm wearing these jeans that I feel like a rock star in. And that's what I visualize every morning. And then I do a little bit of PD and I set my intentions for the day and I start my 2B tracker for the day. So I write down the date and my weight and that I had my Energize. And then at 6:30, I lace up, I get on my Zoom with my team. We work out, I go downstairs, I come up, get off my Zoom, read scriptures. My kids wake up, we have breakfast, everybody gets ready, make beds. While my kid's at school, oldest, she's in preschool, she goes 3 days a week. I will try to do one-on-ones because it's a lot easier to focus if she's not here. And my baby plays. And then as soon as my baby goes down for a nap, I start hustling through my checklist. So I make sure I've done my connections, my invites, my follow-ups, that I've checked my notifications, I've cleaned out my inbox, that I've seen every notification that my coach tagged me in, that I'm caught up on my message threads, that all of that is, there's a box for all that stuff. I make sure we call it our secret sauce form because the secret sauce is consistency. So I start working on those until my baby wakes up. We wake up, we have lunch. I do mom life things. If my kids want to have a day that we stay home and play, they will play together and I will keep doing stuff. If they are like super antsy, I will put stuff away and we will go to the park or the library or Target or Costco or whatever. Come home, baby takes another nap. I finish whatever else I need to do, get dinner going. My husband comes home and I don't work for the rest of the day. And that is like a typical, things change and fluctuate depending on what's going on. But I start the day focusing on me, my journey, getting my mindset right. I do not open my inbox. It's so hard, but I don't open my inbox when I wake up. And I don't check my notifications. I don't do any of that because I wake up and focus on me and my journey first. And then I focus on my kids. And I had to make an affirmation about that I give myself permission to unplug from the outside world to spend time with those who matter most. I am a network marketer, not an emergency room physician, and no one is going to die if they ask for information for my boot camp and it takes me 2 extra hours to message them because I'm feeding my kids and getting them dressed for the day. And I am taking the time to shower and put on real clothes. Nobody's going to die. So I have to but I have to tell myself that nobody's going to die. You need to get dressed. You need to put yourself first. You need to whatever. And then I sit down and hustle. And because I've taken the time to take care of my kids, because my kids are not coming up to me, Mom, I'm hungry, Mom, I'm dressed, Mom. It's a lot easier because I can focus because I did give them time. I did focus on them. I did take time for myself. I already did my workout. It's not hanging over my head. I already had my shake because it's part of my breakfast. So I can knock out everything for logging into my challenge group because everything is done. And so that I can just blitz through the rest of my stuff. And then I can move on and unplug and be with my family. Okay, Kelly, no, I do not answer people at night. And I used to be a lot better, and I answer no one on Sundays, which is also super hard for me. But I'm at the point I talk about it now in my stories, and my people know it. So if someone messages me on a Sunday, they will say, the start of the message always says, I know you don't reply to messages on Sundays, but so then I know, okay, well, they know I'm not going to get back to them until tomorrow. So I don't need to stress about it. But I try really hard to not even open my inbox so I don't beat myself up. But it's one of the most important things you can do in this business is prioritize and know what your definition of success is and know what your priorities are. So if you don't have time in the middle of the day to get everything done in the morning, then maybe you do have to work at night. Maybe you do have to stay up late. Maybe you can't wake up and have a super productive morning. Everybody's schedules is different. But I know for me, one of my husband's biggest hang-ups was that I was always on my phone. And so that's why I don't have time for Netflix, because I'm working my butt off while he is at work. So the second he gets home from a job he now loves, he left his job that sucked a year ago, and we freaking love his new job. He is very fulfilled. He loves what he does. But he comes home and I can be fully present and in the moment. And I don't ever, well, maybe once or twice a month I'll have a team call at night. But other than that, I don't do anything at night. I'll post stories so people can see I'm a normal person, but that's it. And if there's a night that he wants to go do something, or he's like, I really want to watch this show, or he wants to play his video game or whatever, then I'll sit next to him and then I'll do some more work stuff, because he doesn't care if I'm super paying attention to his video game. But if we're doing something together as a family, my phone is in the other room. It's nowhere to be found. Anyway, that was so long. Do you guys have any questions? I love the questions you guys have been asking. Discount, yes. And I never talked about the business. Yes, I do sign people up as discount coaches because I have found mindset-wise, they go into it thinking they're going to stick around longer than a month because they're starting out with the discount. And then I message them probably 3 weeks into the group, 4 weeks into the group, that I'm like, girlfriend, you are killing it. You're showing up. Your results have been fantastic. You're crushing the meal plan. I'm loving the Shakeology recipes you're sharing. Do you want to learn more about what we do in the coaching side? Because you're totally signed up. It would not cost you anything. And you're already doing what we do as coaches. And that's always when they're like, actually, yes, I would be interested in learning more about the business. So when I send my coaching invites, I do them blitz-wise. So I talk about what I do as a coach all the time. I talk about it 3 times a week in my posts, every single day in my stories. But I only invite right before a sneak peek And the only invites I send are to my challengers. And I am posting about it. I'm sharing it in my story so non-challengers can see it. But I have found that someone who starts coaching but I will back up. I started specifically for the business side, but I had experience with Beachbody. I knew how the programs worked. I loved them. Whatever. My coaches that I have signed who came into this wanting the income never fell in love with Shakeology, struggled with the fact that they have to work out, struggled with the fact they have to do the meal plan. And I haven't seen a lot of success with starting coaches for the business side from the very beginning. So I focus very, very heavily on the challenger side and then getting challengers to convert to the business side after they're seeing results. New coach protocol. So let's say I'm messaging someone that I'm like, okay, girlfriend, you're killing it in the group. Do you want more information about what we do as coaches? They say yes. I have a sneak peek into coaching that's on Facebook, but I also have all the videos in a YouTube playlist so that if someone on Instagram is like, oh, I don't have Facebook, because that happens way more than I would like to admit, then I'm like, oh, okay, that's okay. I'll send you the YouTube playlist. And then if they're like, okay, I'm ready to do it, then I'm like, okay, now you need to go make a Facebook, because everything I do with my business for my coaches and how I mentor my coaches is on Facebook. So even if you don't add anyone to your Facebook, that's okay. You need to make a Facebook. So then I add them to my team page. I have a message thread for my brand new coaches or coaches who are not yet Emerald or who were Emerald and fell. So all of my coaches who are currently ranked coach are in a thread. And then I send them like I got it from Christina Delgado. Let me grab it, that it just basically says like, you're a coach. I'm so excited. This is the name of my team. This is where our team name came from. It is too long. I will send it to Katie. But this is like, I want you to committing to helping at least one person like your first week, because you're going to show up better if you know that someone else is depending on you to show up. So we're going to help you change one life, whether that someone signs up for the free 2-week trial or someone signs up as a coach. I don't care which level of spectrum we're on. We're going to sign one person up. And then I want you to start watching the trainings. They're self-paced, but the more serious you are about this business, the sooner you're going to go through them. They're in the team page, which is called Fitless Nation, and they're in the units tab. Start at the top. I'm here if you have any questions, but please utilize the threads as much as you can, because I get a lot of messages and I will always see your question first if you message me in the thread versus if you message me one-on-one, because I just get way too freaking many messages. And so they always message back because they're like, yay, I'm so excited, sounds great, can't wait, whatever. I do a shout out for them in the team page, in the new coach thing, in my new coach thread, so everybody welcomes them, and then they just jump right into New Coach University. This starts out talking about it, the beginning. It's one I got from Micah, but I kind of customized mine a little bit. But it's a lot of stuff pulled from top coaches. There's the video that Ashley Molstad and Amy Silverman did at Summit this past year about overcoming limiting beliefs. That's like one of the very first videos, so that they know that limiting beliefs are normal and they've got to overcome them, and you cannot get stuck just because you have a limiting belief, because everybody has limiting beliefs. And that it talks about, the very first video talks about don't get overwhelmed, because I promise this is going to get overwhelming, and it's just like a new job. You're not going to be the CEO on your first day. You've got to give yourself a breather. I'm always here with questions, but go slow, pay attention, whatever. And it just goes through all the things. It goes through the vitals and how to use our success form, and there's tons of different videos. A lot of them are from Micah, like I said, about how to do connections, how to do invites, how to do follow-ups, best practices for adding to your network, how to take eye-catching pictures. A lot of this is stuff we just found on YouTube. There's videos in there from Ashley Molstad. Ashley Molstad has a fantastic video about getting over your fear of invites. And she talks about like Taylor Swift concert tickets. If you guys haven't seen that, you need to go find that. It's fantastic. But it's long. There's a lot of posts in there, but I am noticing I'm having girls go Emerald way before they're done, because it breaks it down. It talks about Emerald. It talks about team cycle bonuses. It talks about Success Club. It talks about, and everything is ranked in order of like, hey, at the start, they need to know this. And then, okay, once they know that, then they need to know this. So all the stuff about like presets than having like a super beautiful Instagram. That is all the way at the bottom, because that is not, it's important, but it is not more important than like going emerald and doing your connections and your invites. Like, we got to establish that crap before we start doing all this other stuff at the bottom. So, yeah, and it's New Coach University is actually working super, super, super well. Focus on SC5 first or emerald. We always focus on emerald first, because emerald will get you to SC4. So, and Micah does a GSR. We do a team-wide GSR every month. So that recording is always at the top of my New Coach University, and I just update it every month. And then the next week, we do a Emerald in 24 hours call. So we talk about like, hey, congratulations, you signed up as a coach. You're sitting in the car. The car is never going to go anywhere if you don't turn the car on. Turning the car on is Emerald. Success Club is the gas, and whatever you want in this business is your destination. But we got to turn on the car, which is Emerald. We need to hit Emerald. This is how you hit it. And then we have like breakdowns about your husband's income. A lot of, I feel like I make fantastic money in Jake's account, and Jake is like the baby of Micah's other 5-star and above leaders. Their husband's income like blow my mind. But we share that. We have like some of them share income progressions for the husband, so that new coaches can see it didn't happen overnight. They didn't sign their husband up and start making $10 million a minute under their husband. But look at what's compounding, because they're at the top of the downline. So you need to sign your husband. If you're not married, you sign your mom, your whatever. And then the other person on the other leg can be someone who wants to do the next challenge group with you, and they're starting as a discount. It can be your best friend that wants to do this with you. It can be your mom. It can be your sister. It can be your neighbor. It can be whatever. This is someone that you want to bring on the journey with you. And then we talk about how to invite that person and share discount coach scripts. So our goal is to get coaches started with crushing their journey, focusing on sharing their journey on social media, and then crushing Emerald soon. And holy crap, you hit Emerald, you're at SC4, you just got your first paycheck. Let's keep going, girlfriend. Let's hit SC6. Holy crap, you hit SC6. Keep going. Let's find 2 more people. You hit SC10. You made enough to cover you got the SC leads, which those Shakeology leads will not only cover you and all your products, it will cover your husband's product. And hello, you can just order Energize and Recover under your husband to keep him active, and no one should go through any Beachbody program or life without Energize. So that's enough to order. Keep your husband going. So this isn't going to be a money pit. Like, all of that is covered in the first like 5 videos, so that they come into it knowing, okay, and so that they know, because we use the key in the ignition thing, we don't stay here. Emerald is, especially a self-sustaining emerald, that is miserable. Like, we got to keep going. We got to, whatever. Yeah, we do a lot of videos because we have found things get explained better in videos. And our big thing we have to focus on our team is just making sure they don't get too long, because obviously you can get a little long-winded. So, but yeah, we do a lot of videos. And it's self-paced because they're all in the units. So if they have a night they want to watch 100 of them, or if they watch them on their break or while they're driving or whatever, and they're always easily there in reference because they're in the units. Is that helpful?
Ashley, you've been incredibly helpful. I mean, I think you just dropped some bombs on everyone in this last hour.
Well, good. I'm glad it was helpful.
Yeah. Does anyone else have any more questions, or are we good?
Just thank you so much. Like, thank you with all of our heart, because this is just, I mean, you know how it is, just hearing it from someone else. And with your energy, your passion is super contagious. Like, you just lit us all on fire. We appreciate you. I mean, I was just talking to Ashley Dara on here right before the call, like, how do you teach belief? And I think it starts with us, right? Like, the energy we bring into this, the belief that we bring into this, that transfers to our team. And the points that you gave with the affirmations, the PD, surrounding yourself, like doing the Josh codes, like, are just so powerful. I think we do underestimate it. It's like right here, it's like the answer is here. So anyway, it was great. Amazing. Thank you so much.
I'm so glad, because that's always the goal, is I think my story's great, but I wanted to help you guys. That's the whole point of sharing it.
Story is amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you. Last year was a good year, which brings up a limiting belief. And I'm like, last year was unbelievable. You're never going to do that again. But I have to nope, last year was great. And because I'm freaking consistent, watch the compound effect keep kicking even more. And this year is going to be fantastic. I have to, limiting beliefs are a thing. They are a thing for everybody. Even Micah has them. It always makes me feel so much better when I hear Micah's or Josh, when Josh shares his. I'm like, oh, good. You guys are human beings too. You're not just superhumans that never struggle with anything.
Well, we will be cheering you on when you walk across that stage as 15-star. We're going to be like, yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. Super excited, super terrified, but going to put in the work no matter what happens, right? Right. Okay. But if you guys have any additional questions or whatever, I'm always an open book. So you guys can always message me. Or if there's, Katie, if you think of a resource that everybody's like, I want to see this, let me know and I can totally share them.
Perfect. Yeah.
It was the Josh Coates posting. Do we have that, Katie? Someone just asked me while we were on the call.
Right? Ashley, that's what you said?
Yeah, and I think, I don't know if he breaks it down though. It just says what to post. And mine is a little bit different than Josh's because Josh has you do called an interaction post. And I don't do those.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, but yes, it should be in Josh's life. If you guys don't, at least listen to his podcast and his free webinars he does every month. He is worth investing in. I promise. I promise. Josh's life, but at least do the podcast and the free webinar because he'll change your life.
Yeah, totally. His podcast is killer. Okay. I am going to close this up because I have to go get my son. So if we don't close it, I'm going to have to transfer the host. But I think we're all good. We've been on for quite a bit. So Ashley, again, thank you so much. And for everyone else, I will upload the recording. So thank you. Have a good day, everyone.